everyone, it's Hayes, and in today's video I'm going to be offering to you my definitive video on the evidence for Adrien being a Sentimonster. And before one of you asks, but Hayes, we already know he is. Well, bestie, I'm glad you know, but the majority of people don't seem to. The amount of comments I get on a daily basis, not weekly, not monthly, daily basis, telling me there is no way he can be. Right now, I'm just basically like, okay, let's do this one last time and go through the evidence. I won't be going through every single tiny itty bitty little thing that points to Adrien being a Sentimonster and also Felix and Kagami, because by the end of season 5, I do feel we have enough major pieces of evidence that we don't need to reference these tiny little pieces to convince people. We'll stick to the major pieces of evidence. And please, if you are a Senti denier, do not get upset by this video. I still remember the first ever video I made on this topic and people asked me to never mention it again because of how much it upsets people. Please do not get upset. I am not trying to upset anyone with this video, but if this topic does upset you, I would recommend to you to absolutely not watch this video. Do not watch videos on the internet that you know will make you cry. Don't do it. Why would you do that to yourself? And for everyone else, let's go.
Starts now.
Okie dokie, so we're just going to open with the biggest piece of evidence in my favourite episode, representation. I'm kidding, I hate it. Anyway, Felix tells the story of his mum and his sister, which is Adrien's mum, Emily, and when Emily falls pregnant, there are peacock feathers in the background, which points to Adrien being a Sentimonster. And oh my god, the amount of people who I've seen say, this doesn't confirm anything.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't even know at this point, but to prove it means Adrien is a Sentimonster, we see Colt confront Gaby and he gives him the Peacock Miraculous, which we see him transform with it, and we see him put the amok in the ring that Felix now wears. And when Emily now can fall pregnant, there are peacock feathers in the background, and the same thing happened for Emily when she was pregnant with Adrien. I don't know how it can be any clearer that the two boys are Sentimonsters. We also see in the weird play from representation how Colt controlled Felix with his amok before he died, which Felix took back after his father's death, and there are plenty of instances since Mega Leech of Gaby controlling Adrien with the ring. So, like I said, Mega Leech, Gaby is twisting his ring at the end of the episode as he argues with Adrien, who ends up acquiescing to his dad after the protest against the oxygen tower in the park. In Wishmaker, when Cat Noir is hit, he says when he grew up he wanted to be whatever his parents wanted him to be, which communicates that they've been controlling him for a long time and shaping him into what they want him to be. Adrien doesn't appear to enjoy fencing or modelling or Mandarin or playing the piano, but he is made to do it. In Ephemeral, Gabriel makes Adrien hand over his Miraculous while he twists the ring, and furthermore in the cinema in that episode, Adrien doesn't do a thing to help Marinette. We know in other episodes the Akuma victim can ignore what Hawk Daddy wants. Nathaniel, an evil illustrator, goes on a date with Marinette, and Luca in truth uses his power to find out who his dad really is. But Adrien as Ephemeral is completely under his dad's control and at no point tries to help Marinette. Adrien is in love with her in the time that has been erased in Ephemeral, and as we see in Cat Blanc, he would do anything to protect her. And even when they're just friends, like in Catalyst, he will still protect her. Him not doing anything in Ephemeral shows the control his dad has over him. On to season 5, Gaby forbids Adrien to be with Marinette in protection, but Natalie, who was given the other half of the amok in Risk, counters the order and Adrien therefore can be with her. In Adoration, Marinette tells Adrien she loves him, but as they're about to kiss, we get this absolutely iconic scene.
Adrien. No.
And Adrien backs off, even though it seems he definitely wanted to kiss her, again showing the control. And lastly, in Pretension, Marinette arrives at the mansion with Adrien, and Gabriel Babes makes him go upstairs during the pancake scene, and Adrien physically cannot leave his room, and he doesn't understand why. He wants to go downstairs and be with Marinette, but he physically cannot, and he doesn't understand. Like I said, those are just the most major instances. I'm sure you can find some smaller ones, and there are also other scenes when Gabriel goes to control him, like in Risk. At this point in the episode, Felix and Adrien have already swapped places, but Gabriel doesn't know that, and they argue, and Gabriel goes to control him to get Adrien to obey, but the ring is missing because he's already given it to Natalie, and Felix hasn't returned the other half of the amok yet. A popular argument I see against all these instances of obvious control control is, well, why did Gabriel Babes only wait until Mega Leech to do this? Prior to Mega Leech, Adrien has been very obedient, and when he has broken the rules, none of them have ever really affected Gabriel's business decisions before. What Adrien does in Mega Leech directly affects Gabriel's brand and his overall image, and also shows how disobedient Adrien is becoming towards him. And let's be fair, as the show goes on, Gaby Baby gets more unhinged. Season 1 Gabriel is very different to Season 5 Gabriel. Don't get me wrong, Season 1 Gabriel isn't a good person, but I don't think he's awful enough to control Adrien with the amok just yet.
We haven't done that yet, but we should. We're going to look into it.
And speaking of the start of the show, another criticism of the Sentimonster theory is that, well, it wasn't planned since the start of the show. However, it absolutely was. We all know this portrait of Emily, which is based on this portrait by Clint of Adele Block Boyer, which is definitely not how you pronounce that name, I'm so sorry, and it's a well-known fact that she was unable to have children. As we see in representation, both Emily and Amelie both want and are trying for a baby, but it isn't able to happen until they use the Peacock Miraculous. This portrait has been there since the start of the show, showing the Sentimonster theory was planned since the beginning. Another argument is that, well, Sentimonsters can't age, so Adrien can't be one, as Chloe remembers him as a child. Whilst Chloe remembering Adrien as a child is completely true, Sentimonsters can age if that is the intention when you create them. If you make a Sentimonster and you decide that you want them to stay, let's for example say 10 years old forever, then they will stay 10 years old forever. But if your intention is for them to start as a baby and age as humans do, that is also possible too. For example, Feast was created with a very specific purpose in mind, and while they got bigger with how much they ate, they haven't aged, because that wasn't Foo's intention when he made Feast. Feast wasn't meant to be his child. Feast was made for a very specific reason, but it seems Emily and Amelie wanted a baby that would grow and age like a human, hence why Felix and Adrien grow and age like a human. Another thing is that Aeon in the New York special would have picked up on Adrien being a Sentimonster in her scan, but it's been confirmed that she cannot detect Sentimonsters. Another big piece of evidence against this theory is that in Cat Blanc everything is destroyed, and so would Adrien's amok. But everything hasn't been destroyed. The Eiffel Tower, while is on its side, has not been destroyed, and neither has Montparnasse Tower. Organic life forms have been destroyed, as we see with Ladybug and Hawk Daddy, but we don't know how far that extended. We aren't shown the Egress Mansion in these scenes in Cat Blanc, and Emily is also underground. We have no idea if she was harmed too. So while the Cataclysm in Cat Blanc would have destroyed Gabriel's ring, it's not all of the amok. Emily's would need to be destroyed too. As we see in Crocodile, both parts of the record the Akuma goes into need to be destroyed to stop Jagged and Annika. And there's also some more proof of the Sentimonster theory in the Shanghai special. Gaby Baby talks on the plane about how he's been waiting 15 years to do this, and at the time I was like, what on earth has he been waiting 15 years for? Adrien is 14, and since pregnancy's last 9 months, that would be about 15 years ago. It seems Gaby Baby has been searching for a way to fix the Peacock Miraculous and save Emily all this time, and when he was unable to, he's then been trying to get Ladybug and Cat Noir's Miraculous to make the wish and save Emily, but he's been unable to defeat them all this time. So now he is hoping to get the Prodigious, which we know is far more powerful than the Miraculous, and he can use it to get the 2 Miraculous and make the wish to rectify what happened 15 years ago when his wife first used the Peacock Miraculous to make Adrien. And I know a lot of people will say, well, in Season 3, Natalie should have been able to detect that Cat Noir was a Sentimonster, and the same with Shadow Daddy, may he rest in peace, in Season 4, but that's not the case. The Peacock Miraculous holder can only detect the amok, not the Sentimonster. In Feast, Natalie knows Feast is a Sentimonster because he has swallowed his amok, and Felix knows Kagami is a Sentimonster because she is wearing her amok, her family's ring, and as Natalie says in Feast, she can sense the amok within. She doesn't say she senses a Sentimonster, she says she senses the amok. Adrien doesn't put his amok on until the end of Recreation, so yes, I would assume in this scene, Felix is aware his cousin is Cat Noir.
Wonderful.
And speaking of Kagami, I am well aware there are Sentimonster deniers around her too, so let's tackle this quickly. Like I said, Felix realises she's a Sentimonster in emotion when he sees her ring, and therefore decides to save her during the Red Moon incident. He also swaps her ring in pretension so her mum can't control her, and in representation at the end of the play, Felix says the Miraculous boy, referring to himself as he was made from a Miraculous, met a girl like him, implying she's a Sentimonster too.
Then the Miraculous boy
met a girl like him.
And Tomoe gets very angry with Gaby Baby in Perfection for akumatizing Kagami because the Akuma goes in a ring, which would have seriously harmed her if Cat Noir had cataclysmed it. And when I say seriously harmed her, I mean killed her. Okay, so there you go, all the major evidence for Adrien and Kagami, and also Felix, because why not, they're all Sentimonsters, all three of them. We know there are 3 currently active in the show from what Thomas has said, and these are the 3. Not to mention that Adrien and Felix are exact copies of each other physically, and that Adrien is allergic to feathers, which is something that again has been established since season 1, showing that the Sentimonster plotline was planned since the start. Like I said, there's probably little bits here and there that I've missed, but this covered all the major evidence in my opinion. And if you're still not convinced after this, then I really don't know what to tell you at this point, besties. So I'd love to know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.